Given the fact that like 90% of my channel's content is either about random Czech stuff or metal music, two things are fairly certain. First, this video is bound to happen, and second, I'm a pretty boring person. Yeah, and I can only hope this will do as well as the Leibach explained video. We'll see. So with the intro out of the way, let's ask the question, who are Hentai Corporation and why should you care about them? Oh, and even if you are an existing fan, please do continue watching. There will be some new information for existing fans as well. Simply put, they are a Czech metal band who shook up the Czech metal scene and whose subgenre cannot be properly defined. If I had to personally describe them, I describe them as heavier and crazier pražský výběr, but for example their band's own page cites them as thrash and roll, so a mixture of thrash metal and rock and roll. Without a doubt, we can also find some influences from jazz and blues music buried under the heaviness. If you wanted to be very liberal with our definitions, I guess we could say that they are progressive metal, but I'm not sure if I agree with that. Their most well-known song is called Equilibristic Brides, and just by watching the video clip, yeah, it's definitely eccentric and there are lots of beavers. I love it. If you want to find Hentai Corporation's place in the Czech metal music scene, I divide the whole industry into 2 or 3 main categories. The first, represented by bands like Kabát or Doga, is more of a hard rock one, with its audience mainly in smaller cities. The songs are usually fairly simplistic and the audience is usually middle-aged. There's a pejorative term to describe this kind of music, it's called agrometal, as in agrarian metal. But there is no need to demean the people and bands who listen to this kind of stuff and enjoy the music. And the second category is represented by Hentai Corporation. It's more innovative and, for lack of a better term, or my ineptness regarding English vocabulary, crazier. What I'm trying to say is that you won't find Hentai Corporation on a beer rock fest in a town in the middle of nowhere. Cause last time that happened, Radek Škarohlíd, the frontman of the band, got punched by a security guard in the festival. With that said, I definitely wouldn't say that Hentai Corporation is a band with elitist fanbase like many prog metalish bands unfortunately sometimes have. Yet, unlike the third group, Hentai Corporation still has large success internally in Czech Republic, and they would not be considered as an international band. On the other hand, what I consider the third group are a band with a moderate following inside Czech Republic and a fairly massive international success within their niche. These bands tend to be on the more extreme side of metal, such as grindcore or slam. I honestly don't have enough information to talk about this scene, but do your own research, it's definitely interesting. Now, let's look at the lineup, which underwent only one change since Hentai Corporation's inception in 2005. The band is fronted by the already mentioned Radek Škarohlíd, who seems to live a double life. Because aside from his musical career, he also holds a doctorate in biochemistry and is an active researcher. His brother, Petr Škarohlíd, is the band's guitarist, and this fraternal bond without a doubt contributes to the band's synergy on stage. Aside from that, we have Zdeněk Šťáva on the drums and Matouš Duraj on bass. Lastly, keyboardist Adam Novotný, who's the only non-funding member in the band, hence he has replaced František Koucký in 2019. However, Koucký's departure from the band was not in a bad blood, which is always good. Now, let's talk a bit about their history, albums and EP releases. The band played its first concert in 2007, and a year after that, the band's first EP, Fuck You Like a Chameleon, was released. Honestly, unlike the band's second EP, this one isn't as well remembered, and they have since surpassed this EP's quality. In 2010, Hentai Corporation achieved 2 very important milestones. The first is the single No More Love with the Czech hardcore band Atari Terror, and a second very important milestone was when the band was chosen as the opening act for Slash concert in Prague. Yes, that's the Slash from Guns N' Roses. A year after that, in 2011, they released their second EP titled Dr. Zaius. This time, this EP is well loved even until today, with the sound being truly a mixture of complex composition, heavy riffs and crazy vocals. This EP contains 3 new songs as well as the previously mentioned No More Love. In 2013, the band released their first album with the title So Long I'm Not Bothered to Read It. I know there's something about schnitzels and Hitler being held hostage. This album is truly what our Hentai Corporation mostly known for, and it's also their most commercially successful album so far. What also helped this success was the already mentioned very controversial clip for the song Equilibristic Brides. I guess naked men in beaver masks do stir up controversy. Aside from 8 original songs, we also have 2 extra songs. Waltz 9, a classical piece placed on a keyboard, and Zubata, a cover of Pražský výběr's Zubata from 1988. By the way, definitely do check out Pražský výběr, it sounds like proto Hentai Corporation, one of the most influential bands for Czech rock music. This album also contains Hentai Corporation's first true ballad. While Call Me Womann from Dr. Zaius had elements of a ballad, The River is truly one. But not a dumb, strumming 4 chords one, no. This song is fairly complex and evoke dreamlike vibes. On this album, we also have a song called The Tragedy of Uncle Hitler, something I consider a peak of humorous songwriting. But I guess my sense of humor is fairly weird. Let me cite one of the verses. For her boobies, I would rebuild Auschwitz. For her brisk dreams, I would deal with Stalin. Fascinated by Eve's pussy, I'm losing my head. She organized a gangbang in the bunker. Sears imploded satanic breath. So beautiful, isn't it? Oh, I guess it's not for everyone. Well, whatever. Well, at this point, Hentai Corporation was already a staple name in the Czech metal scene, and their summers have been filled with going around large festivals in Czech Republic and Slovakia. Another big milestone happened in 2017, when the band recorded their second album called Intercellular Pets. Along with it also came a second video clip, this time for the song Synthetic Limits. While musically we can definitely hear an increase in quality, the album wasn't quite as groundbreaking and successful as their first one. Interestingly enough, this album was released by Big Boss, which is a Czech label that specializes in hip-hop and rap. One of my favorite tracks from Hentai Corporation also comes from this album, that being The Fall of Johann M. And it would be my favorite if their 2020 EP called 00420603545450 wasn't released. And yes, that EP's title is a phone number, try calling it actually. This EP containing 4 songs is in my opinion the creme of the crop of their entire discography. Inner Stress, Methlocked, Trash Island and Rise for the Last Time are all tracks that represent how novel the band's music feels. This time, instead of a classical video clip, Trash Island got an animated video. In the future I want to make a video that solely focuses on this EP and why I think it's so great. Make sure to let me know if that would be something you're interested in. And musically, that's everything, but supposedly the last EP is only the first half of an entire album being prepared. As of now, there is no new info about how it's progressing or when will it be released, so stay tuned. And now for some music recommendations. Similarly to my lieback video, I've made a playlist of Hentai Corporation Essentials, where I've compiled 10 songs from Hentai Corporation which I consider the best of. These songs are not only the ones I prefer, but the ones that most of the fans prefer. Aside from that, I've also made a playlist of Hentai Corporation Hidden Gems. Lesser known songs that do deserve the spotlight, but one might argue the entire band is a hidden gem. Well, at least internationally. If you are a fan of listening to whole albums like I am, there's honestly no bad place to start. I'd maybe recommend starting with their first full album, just for the sake of context. On the screen right now you see my personal rankings of their albums from best to worst. If you're already a fan, post your ranking in the comments below. And I guess that is everything. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Absolutely let me know what you think about the band. In my opinion, it's a pity that they are not well known internationally. I also admit that I've ignored a lot of the scandals surrounding the band, because they'll boil down to drunk Czechs doing dumb stuff and get boring after a while. From what I've read, however, Radek Škarolit is trying to abstain from alcohol, and I can only wish him good luck. One last thing I have to add is that I hope I didn't come off just as a fanboy and this video had some informative value. Regardless, after a hiatus from making videos, I had fun making this and I hope you'll check out my other videos. Bye.